Right, can we start with the salawat, please? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraja. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think before I start, I've got to tell you, they're going to take pictures, but not of you, from the back. That's your beautiful scarves, okay? Don't worry about it. Okay, so journaling the Qur'an, that's what we're doing. You all know introduction. Hopefully you're now accustomed to the color directory. This QR code will give you the past sessions. We will look at the Quran city map. I'm hoping to do that in the month of Ramadan. So the first 2 weeks of Ramadan from next week, at 7:30 here, during Darsa time, we will have Quran. Okay, so we will do some aspects of journaling. You all know about the Quran city gates. The road network is M14, which is the Masumin. Hopefully you know this now. Walzam qalbi hifdha kitabika kama allamtani. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Right, focuses. Surah Al-Fatiha, summary of the Quran. Baqarah, history of faith. It's coming out of your ears now, right? I can see it. Al Imran, Muslim identity. Al Imran, let's go. Nisa, manifestation of the Muslim identity, in particular the respect of women. Okay. Surah Al-Ma'idah. Come on, somebody. Perfection of religion. Okay. An'am, anyone? You've got it written all over there. You remember it had the practicalities of Tawheed, but also people made up their own rules. And they still do it. Self-imposed restrictions, that's right. A'raf, anyone? You remember A'raf? You've got it written up there in big writing. My goodness, I can see it too. Sorry? Rejecting divine guidance. Okay, Ankabut. You remember Ankabut talked about the testing of if I said I believe, and also the fragility of the human being. Okay, you got that. Rum, anyone? We did Rum. We talked about it, and those two surahs, remember, will be the surahs that will take you and me to Jannah. There was superpowers, there was reflection of signs. Okay, good. Dukhan, we did that last week. It talked about the blessed night. That's right. Okay. All right. Today we'll look at Qadr, which I already started last week, but I'm going to go over repetition. Qadr is really quite important. You've got some stickers there. Hopefully you will go through them. So if I look at Surah Al Qadr, in essence it's talking about the awesomeness of the night of Qadr. When I say awesomeness of the night of Qadr, it's got to be so important that a whole surah is dedicated after it. Laylatul Qadr is not something to be pushed aside. Laylatul Qadr is something really amazing. It is because of the birthday of the Qur'an that we're fasting from, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, I don't know, whatever marja you follow. Saturday or Sunday you'll be starting to fast, and that fasting is in preparation for Laylatul Qadr. So let's have a look at what Qadr takes you off. First of all, Qadr could mean a few things. I know in your books it might say, I think in mine it says the night, the majesty. I'm not quite sure what that means, okay? Qadr is the night of honor. Qadr means measure or decree. Now I tried to explain last time and I'll go over it again. I asked you to imagine the program Ready, Steady, Cook. Right? Do you remember that? So in Ready, Steady, Cook, there are two cooks. Now, even if you don't know it because you're young, imagine there are two cooks. Imagine you've got access to your phone, which gives you YouTube and all the recipes. You just have to... The microphone just went, okay. You just have to put them in a search engine and you'll get the recipes up. Both the cooks have been given separate ingredients. Yeah, can you reduce the sound of the mic somewhere? Okay, so both the cooks have been given separate ingredients. And last time I told you that Yasmin was given potatoes and I was given prawns. That is the measure. That is Qadr, okay? What I do with what I am given, with all my spices and all my social media, YouTube, whatever you want, you've Googled it, you've search engined it, and you found the recipe. That plus my measure gives you qada. Qada means your destiny. So I'll repeat again. Qadr plus my efforts gives you destiny. And last time I said, if she was given potatoes and I was given prawns, but she made such beautiful potatoes and I just stuck the prawns with all the stuff at the back inside a glass and put some sauce over it, you wouldn't eat my prawns. So you can't say somebody has got better than me. Somebody's fairer, somebody's taller, somebody's got green eyes, I've got brown eyes. We go through all comparisons. So for you and me, that is our qadr. What we do with it will become our qadr. Now for every year, we ask for things. I want to do something in this year. What you ask for, your aspirations, plus the wanting, the intention, will result in me getting it on the Laylatul Qadr. It's not just asking because somebody else told me to do it. My father at a very young age used to ask us to write down on Laylatul Qadr what we wanted to do for the year. He would take those papers. We were very little. I told you my father died when I was 10. He would take those papers and we wouldn't see them until the next Laylatul Qadr. And when we opened them, it was surprising. I said I always wanted to ride a bike, still can't. And my father used to say, that's because you didn't pray that everybody should get a bike and then you. And I said, by the time God gives everyone, right? So you've got to really put the effort in. Okay, so are you all right with what Qadr means, right? Qadr in different tafasir is known as the night of honor. Because in that night, the message, the messenger, and the one who brought it are all honorable. Qadr is also known as the night of power because it can change you. It can change you and me. There can be a definite change in the way we are. And the third one is also known, Qadr is also known as congestion. I can give you different aspects of Qur'an. Congestion or restriction. And when you look at the Tafasir, it tells you that it's congestion and restrictions because there's so many angels on the earth, more than the pebbles on the earth. So wherever you step, there's angels. You've got to be pretty careful. Are you good with that? Okay, right, let's start and have a look at it. It's known as, I'm going to go through some bits of pieces, Sayyidul Layali, the best of nights. It's known as Qalbu Shahru Ramadhan, the heart of the month of Ramadan. It's known as Ra'sus Sana, the head of the year. That's how important Laylatul Qadr is, okay? So I'm going to start right at the beginning and you've got the text up there, okay? So inna, indeed we, and I'm going to go through each word. There's a little bit of noise coming from that side. Hello? Okay, inna, indeed we, which means the whole of the spiritual world. Not only, Allah is not saying me only, it's not in me, it's in na. The whole of the spiritual world, anzalnahu, brought down all at once. I told you, anzala, all at once. With the shadda, nazala, over time. So all at once it was brought down where? It was brought down to the heart of the Prophet. Surah number 26 with his Surah Al-Shu'ara. You can have a look at it. Please turn to it if you want. Page ayah 193 and 194. All at once to the heart of the Prophet. Okay, inna anzalnahu. It was such a major thing that it needed the whole of the spiritual world to bring it down, and I just carry it around without worrying about it at all. Fi, in Layla, in the night of Qadr, in the night of measure, in the night of decree. There are tafasir where the ulama say that any time you wake up to the awesomeness of this book is Qadr for you. But I'm going to look at this as being the night in the month of Ramadan, and we'll talk about when. And then he says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. What will make you understand what the night of Qadr is? What is it that will make you understand? So when he says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ, it is to emphasize, it is to magnify. When somebody tells you something again and again and again, and it is talking about divinity, he's trying to tell you and me, how can I make you understand how great this night is? Sayyidah Fatima used to put us children to sleep in the morning so they could be awake at night. It's not a night of just pare and pare and pare. Because in Mafatihul Jinan, Sheikh Abbas Qumi says, out of all these amals, if you only learned 2 masails of fiqh, or 2 masails which help you in your life, daily life, it's better than doing all these amals. I am not demeaning any of the amals, but if I were to pare makarimul akhlaq and tawbah and I don't know, what else do we read? Anything else that we might read on that night? And we'll come to some of the surahs and the du'as. When we read that, it's not Laylatul Qadr. It must be an awakening to the Qur'an, okay? All right. So he's saying, what will make you understand how important it is? So now he's telling you, Laylatul Qadr, the night of Qadr, khayrum is better than min alf shahr, then 1,000 months. 1,000 months is 83 years and 4 months. I was trying to calculate it. But the Arabs, they use 770, 1,000, or multiples of these numbers to indicate a great number. It's not exactly 1,000. It's like I'm saying, it's raining cats and dogs. In the English language, it means it's really raining a lot. So 1,000 here is metaphorical. He's saying it's better than your whole lifetime. It's limitless time. If I was told that only in these few hours I can change my destiny, I wouldn't do anything else but focus on that. I cannot emphasize, this is the Qur'an, it's not hadith, it's not anything else. You cannot doubt it. Laylatul Qadr khayru min alf shahr. I'll put that thing again. The night of Qadr is timeless. It's better than a timeless amount of nights. We live in a timed atmosphere, okay? So, my first question will be, okay, so what happens? Why is it better? So he says, tanazzalul malaikat. Now you got tanazzalu? Nazzala and anzala. So this means bit by bit. Now you imagine in the heavens or in the earth, there are all these departments of angels. Thousands and thousands of them, okay? So these departments, all department by department, is coming down. If you and I could see, and the veils were out, we would just see angels just dropping down over and over and over again. So you can imagine rows and rows and rows and rows of angels. The way my father kept us up was he would say, there is one time on the night of Qadr when only you are looked at. And he would say, you can see it in the sky. So you can imagine. We sat on the terrace. I don't know whether we can do it here because it's too cold. But we sat on the terrace under the open sky and we just look up. And if we saw a shooting star, we'd say, yeah, that's mine. But we kept awake. And that's how he did it. And that was okay too. Because for us that night was so, Mom made us sleep. There was no samosas, okay? No kachoris, nothing. It was really light food so we could stay awake. Because he would say these angels have one moment when they're looking exactly at you. So tanazzalul malaikatu war ruh. The angels, all their departments, and ruh is Jibreel. Ruh is anything that is connected directly with divinity. Qur'an says, يَسْأَلُونَكَ الرُّوحِ. They ask you about the soul, O Muhammad. قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ. The ruh is from Allah and you will not understand it. So ruh is that entity that is over the angels and connected to Allah, divinity. Here the ulama will tell us that ruh is Jibreel. So now imagine all the angels and their boss, fiha, in it, they come down, بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ, with the permission of their Rabb. Why do they come? They're happy in the heavens. Why the heaven would they want to come on earth? That's a question, isn't it? So we've got answers. The Masumin tell us they come down to meet Ahlul Qur'an. That is you and me. We are so important in their eyes that they want to come down and meet us. They want to see, who are these people who have not seen, who do not, who believe in the ghaib. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. Who are Ahlul Qur'an? So these angels are fighting to come meet me and you. And me and you are saying, oh my goodness, I to kahin samajh nathi padtu su parai chhe. And bi'idhni rabbihim, they are only allowed with the permission of their Rabb. Which means that Ahlul Qur'an are so important that it's amazing. By the way, as far as Malaika goes, what do you think of? Wings? You've got wings in here. Who do you think of when you think of wings? Jafar Tayyar? Hazrat Abbas? There you go. You see, loyalty. Anyway, so these are things that you need to think about, okay? So, وَرُوفِيهَا بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ أَمْرٍ. And that's again a sentence which says, for every single issue, your health, your economic status, who is going to be born, your emotional, your spiritual, is all worked out. So from today is the last night of Shaban, or for some of you it'll be tomorrow night, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And you know, we fight so much about the moon. So you might believe the moon tomorrow, I might believe the day after, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I have a friend, because I normally do Laylatul Qadr a day before you do it at Stanmore. She says, I'm doing all 6 nights. By the 6th night, she's dead. Because she's kept awake all 6. Because she said, I don't want to miss it. You won't miss it. Don't worry. It's okay. Don't fight over the moon, okay? So, min kulli am. So, from today, take a piece of paper, fold it into 4. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. In your physical side, if anything else, you might want to write down whatever you want, but you want sehat. You want good health. Without health, nothing's going to work. Ask for him. Tell him, I don't care if you don't give me anything, but give me health. But then you can't ask for health and then have lots of samosas in Ramadan, okay? Contradicts it. It really does. Ramadan is a month of simple food, of prophetic food. I'm not talking about Stanmore. I'm talking about what you have at home. And alhamdulillah, you're not going to have any iftar here except at weekends. Okay, alhamdulillah, no, whatever you want to say, okay? But in essence, it's about having the simplest and most nutritious of food. Okay, so you've done your physical. Mental, I want to have mental agility. I don't want Mr. Alzheimer's to visit me. Okay? I want to be able to be there. And if he does, I hope I will have compassion from people and they will understand. Because we don't know who will hit and what will happen. We really don't know. Okay? So mental, emotional. And have a big heart. And learn to forgive. And learn to have this heart which doesn't have malice, which doesn't have hatred, all the rest of it. We don't trust in him a lot. And then spiritual. Oh my goodness. I want to be able to journal my whole Qur'an. Yes, no, maybe, perhaps. And maybe Zara will make all the stickers. So, whatever. Okay. Next one. What happens? So in this night, he says, there is salam. Now, sometimes we just read this surah as we just go on to it. Salam is a name of Allah, number 5. When you say salamun alaykum, you're actually referring to divinity. In this night, there is nothing bad. Anything that is written for me, this min kulli amr, salam tells you that there is nothing bad. Everything is khair. Biyadihil khair. So on that night, you can't say, oh, I don't like her. Can you make sure she just disappears from my life? That's not going to happen. Salam is the best of everything. Ask for the best. And ask for everybody else and then ask for yourself. And it works wonders. And this piece, matla'a, means the rise of Fajr. It's the only night that you don't say at the time, because it says Salamun hiya hatta matla'il Fajr, until the sun comes up. Normally, Fajr is before the sun comes up. You know that? Sun comes up is known as sunrise. This is the night when you're told it's complete peace. Everything is goodness. Every single one of us is looking for peace. We might have mansions. It doesn't really matter. But they don't mean a lot if we don't have peace in here. By the way, if you want safety from trouble, then from today recite Ya Salam 100 times. We have a book on the website called Asma al-Husna. Go through it. Look at Ya Salam. Look at what Salam is saying. And read about the name of Allah. Are you good with this? I'd like you to close your eyes, because that's the only way it works. Or you can look at the screen if you want. And I'll go over it, okay? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna, indeed we, anzalnahu, sent it all down at once to the heart of the Prophet, fi Laylatul Qadr, in the night of Qadr. And I'll tell you when it is in a minute. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. What will make you understand how important the night of Qadr is? The night of Qadr is better than a lifetime. It's timeless. On this day, the angels and he who is connected to divinity, who is Jibreel, all the departments come in stage by stage by stage to meet Ahlul Qur'an with the permission of their Rabb, and they bring down your timetable for the year. You can imagine a workshop or a madrasa meeting. We have an annual meeting in September. If you come, you are able to tell us what you want. If you don't come, then you just have to hack out whatever we tell you to do. All right? It's that sort of thing. Salam, it is peace. Hiya hatta matlayil fajr. Imagine it's the most important meeting of your year. Imagine that day. That's what it is. That night is the meeting that will set your whole timetable. Make a timetable from now. If you go make it then, it's not going to work. Now, when is this? We have 3 nights, 19, 21, and 23rd. It could be any of the odd nights. The Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah commemorate the 27th, for example. And they have their own reasons. It doesn't matter. We say 19, 21, 23. For a few reasons. We have lots of hadith. One is known as Hadith Juhni. Juhni was a man who could only come to Medina once a year. And he used to come to the Prophet, he used to talk to the Prophet, and he said, Ya Rasulullah, I can't come because I have a farm to look after, I have children to look after, all these animals I have to bring. I can only do that once a year. So he tells the Prophet, he whispers in the Prophet's ear, and he says, Ya Rasulullah, when do I come? Tell me just one night in a year. That's the most important night of the year. Now the Prophet whispers to him. Nobody knows what was said. But people noticed that Juhni only came on the 23rd night. That's the only night he came. So that was known as Hadith Juhni. There's lots of hadith. Now what happens on the 19th? On the 19th you set your budget. It's known as taqdeer. Taqdeer means set your budget. So you've made a request. You've gone online, you've search engined a particular thing you want. You want honey, you want dates, okay? You search engine it. That is your taqdeer. On the 21st is known as Ibram. You confirmed your order. You thought, well, this particular place sells dates that are good for me. They will go to charity, blah, blah, all the rest of it. That's Ibram. And then on the 23rd is known as Imdha. That means you've paid for it now and they're going to be dispatched. You can't change your order anymore. No returns accepted. Okay? I don't know which shop does no returns at the moment, but no returns accepted. Are you good? 19th, taqdeer. Still change. It's not set in stone. 21st, you've sort of now gone onto the website, you've put your payment details in, but you haven't pressed the send button yet. On the 23rd, you press the send button and they said they've dispatched it. Are you good? Start writing the timetable out now. Are you comfortable with Sura Al Qadr? Read it again and again and again. There's lots of benefits. Ailment for eyes. If you recite it 10 times, 1,000 sins are forgiven. If you recite it once, it's like fasting for a whole month. So in the month of Ramadan, every single first rakat, Fatiha and then Qadr. Second rakat, Fatiha and then Ikhlas. Okay? So keep on reciting it. You increase in sustenance. It's all on the website, by the way. If you recite it at home for your children, they will become pious. If somebody's angry, I told you, stroke their head and recite it. If you find it difficult at night, recite it 11 times. You'll have safety at night. When you go to visit your marhumin, put your hands on the grave 7 times Sura Al Qadr, and it's forgiveness for the marhumin. Are you comfortable with Qadr? Are you sure? Yes, no, maybe, perhaps? Okay. So what we're going to do, which I've done with the senior citizens, or not senior citizens, the Amali Ashura class and the teacher training we had, was these 2 du'as that we're going to look at now are du'as that normally that people say nani dua che. So they give it to children. You don't get a prize for reading nani dua. You get a prize for reading iftitah. You know that? I don't know why. Because the next dua, Allahumma adkil as they call it, let me read it to you. The Prophet said, if you recite this dua after each wajib salah, during the month of Ramadan or any month as such, all your sins are forgiven up till the day of Qiyamah. It is not rocket science that you should recite these 2 du'as. It can't be rocket science. If somebody told me, all your sins till the day of Qiyamah are forgiven, I'd run. No? I wouldn't say nani dua che, just bacha pare che khali. So I'm just going to go over some aspects of this dua, okay? So the way I've done it, I annotate my books, by the way, like that. This is a book called The Month of Ramadan. You can download it or you can get it from Fatim. And it contains absolutely everything that you might need. But let's start with this dua. I think I've got a little bit of time. Fatima, Yasmin, I've got some time. Okay, so let's start with this. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya Aliyu, Ya Azim. Ali is the Most High, number 36. So I'll put 36 near it. Azim is 33. Now, Ali The moment you think of Ali, you think of the Most High. That's why in Sajda you say, Subhana Rabbiyal A'ala wa bihamdi. At your lowest point, you're asking the highest, the one who is the highest. That's why I told you, if you remember, Ya Ali bihaqqi Ali. The moment you recite Ya Ali, you know there is nothing higher than Allah. Whatever you thought of him is higher. Azim is awesome. So, oh the Most High, oh the Most Awesome. What do you recite in Ruku? Subhana Rabbiyal Azim wa bihamdi. Azim is your bones. Azim provides you the structure in life. So, O you who is the Most High, O you who provides me the structure, Ya Ghafoor, O one who, this is number 34, O one who hides the innermost sin that I can't tell anybody about. Do you know the 4 Asma al-Husna that are to do with sins, right? Forgiveness. Ghafar, Ghafoor, Tawab and Afu. 14, 34, 80 and 80, 83. You're looking at me like you're a bit lost. Okay? Pick up Asma al-Husna. So, Ghafar is one who forgives again and again and again. Ghafoor, the one that's picked in here, is the one who forgives that sin you can't tell anybody about. Every day when you're reciting this in Ramadan, you're saying, Ya Allah, that sin that's following me around, I just don't want it. Ya Ghafoor. Ya Rahim, you all know we did Rahman and Rahim, right? Rahman was the permanent, the temporary, the immediate, the all-encompassing. Rahim, on the other hand, is continuous. He's constant. He's like I talked about dentists, right? I said the dentist was Rahman, the hygienist was Rahim. Do you remember? You have to subscribe to her or him. And it hurts. And if you don't want to hurt, then add Ya Ra'uf there, okay? Anta Rabbul Azim. Most used name after Allah in the Qur'an is Rabb. Allah is 2,699 times. Rabb is 975 times. Okay? Every prophet used Rabb because you say Rabbir hamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. You can say Master, you can say Lord, you can say what you want. But if you imagine somebody who holds your hand and takes you to your full potential step by step, that is Rabb. You are the most awesome Rabb. Anta Rabbul Azim. Please do not recite these du'as like jaldi jaldi because you're waiting for iftitah. That's not how it works. Okay, Alladhi laysa kamithlihi shay, which you all know. Surah Al-Ikhlas. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Wa huwa as-sami'ul basir. 26 and 27. He hears and he sees. He hears the noise, the deafening silence of the breaking of the heart. He can hear it. He can hear your silent that you call from inside. He can hear your thoughts. Basir, he can see. He can see that tear. He can see inside of you. And he knows what's happening to you. So when you say, wa huwa sami'ul basir, just tell him, Ya Sami, Ya Basir, I hand it over to you. You look after it. You can see it. Even you and I, who are known as heartless human beings, by the way, because we are selfish in nature, if somebody walks through that door crying, just crying, it could be anybody, just walked in crying and said, I'm really thirsty, what would you do? Most of us would get up to get a glass of water. We just do it. If somebody was crying, you'd actually leave the class and go comfort them. That's heartless human. If he can see you, he can hear you, for God's sakes, trust in him, okay? I'm not going to go over this bit. I'm going to go over the last bit, which is Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Ya man lahu dunya wal akhirah. Or the one who has the dunya wal akhirah. Irham man laysa lahu dunya wal akhirah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Have mercy on the one who has neither the dunya nor the akhirah. Are you good with that? Okay, I have to hurry up because I can't go over it. Now, here we go to Allahumma adkil. So when you say Allahumma adkil ala ahlil qubur is surur. You're talking about ahlil qubur. In my book, I've circled ahlul qubur. And in ahlul qubur, I think of all those people who have died, especially those of my family, my papa, my mama, my grandma, all those people who have contributed in making me who I am, they come first. All those people who have nobody to cry over them. All those people under the rubble. So you write that down and you say, Ya Allah, give them surur. Surur is Happiness. It's not just read quickly. And every day in Ramadan, I will have a separate post-it note here. I will focus on one person whom I think has made a major difference in my life. Everybody's got their own. Allahumma aghni kulla faqir. There's a difference between faqir and miskin. Both are in need, but a faqir has a greater need, he asks for help. A miskin doesn't ask for help. A miskin comes from the word sakana, to live, right? So a miskin lives he's stuck in his state, he can't help himself, or she can't help herself. It might be an economic state, it might be political, it might be an illness. A miskin never asks. A miskin you have to recognize by their faces that they need. Okay, so Allahumma aghni kulla faqir. Here it is saying, Ya Allah. Ghina, ghani, you mean it's number 88, right? When you say aghni, you're saying enrich through me everybody who needs. So when somebody asks, I'm there. Somebody needs a place and you're fighting for place downstairs, get up and give them a place. You're coming out, somebody's looking for their shoes, wait. Let them look for their shoes first. Okay. Allahumma ashbi kulla jai. Oh Allah, satiate everybody who's jai. Now jai doesn't only mean hunger. Khojas have no problems with hunger. Okay? Here it is spiritual hunger. It's emotional hunger. It's not just physical hunger. You're not only thinking of the people who are, they will be there, but you're looking for spiritual energy. That's why you'll say, Ja'i. It's all this hunger inside me that I need to satiate. Okay? Allahumma qsu kulla uryan. And we think about clothes. Clothes can be normal clothes for people who don't have clothes, but you're looking at the clothes of taqwa. There's loads of ayat of Qur'an. I'll try and put them on the group so we don't have to rush through this. Allahumma qdi dayna kulli madin. Help. Now dayn, is like a debt. Okay? But the debt in essence is a debt that's inside here. That which I have hurt somebody else with, it's a debt. He can't forgive me. If I have hurt you, there's no way God can forgive me. So before Ramadan, say sorry to all these people. I might have said something, I might have done something to hurt you. So Allahumma qdi, or rather, Allahumma qdi dayna kulli madin. Allahumma farij an kulli makrub. My goodness. So, oh Allah, farij, how can I'm not quite sure how to explain to you what farij means. I've tried to write it down. You can say relieve. But karb, Karbala, right? So karb is not just any old difficulty. It's an intense difficulty. Bala is a test. That's why it's called Karbala. So relieve anybody who's on difficulty. Now that when I say it, if I say Allahumma farij an kulli makrub, it means I look around me. If somebody is in distress, I go and help them. I can't just, Allah is using me as a conduit in the month of Ramadan, okay? And all those words, Ya Aliyu, Ya Adim, all help with this dua. Allahumma rudda kulla gharib. Send everyone back. Gharib in Arabic is a stranger. And there are some ahadith of Imam Ali that I'm gonna try and pull out to you. So Imam Ali, when he talks about gharib, he says a person in his own town who does not have any money is a gharib. A person without friends is a gharib. That is why in Urdu, gharib is a poor person. But in Arabic, it is a stranger. So send them back. You and I say 7 times how many times? 10 times a day. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Send me back on the right path. Send everybody back on the right path. It's not just refugees like this poor guy with his bunny rabbit and his suitcase, right? It's anybody who's not on Sirat al-Mustaqim. I'm finished. Allahumma fukka kulla asir. Release me from the prison of my sins. Release everybody from the prisons of my sins. Allahumma aslih kulla fasidin min umur al-muslimin. I'm the first one. So I'm looking at myself. I do not want to wrong anyone. I'll put this, I think we've got a whole video on it and we'll put it in. Allahumma shfi kulla marid. And the marad, or the difficult part, is one who is sick, not just illness, but disorderly in my soul. So help me, help my soul, help the soul of everybody else. Allahumma sudda faqrana bi ghinak. You all know this. Allahumma ghayyir su'a halina bi husni halik. Allahumma qdi anna dayn. We've covered it. Waghnina min al-faqr. Innaka ala kulli shayin qadir. Hopefully, on the in the book. We've got it, and we will put it on. We've already put it. I don't know whether we've put it on the web. Have we put the sermon? I think we put it on updates, not on Thursday. So if we put it on, you will see the whole sermon of the Prophet. Please listen to it tonight, because it was the last night of Shaban that the Prophet recited it. Okay, inshallah, I will see you next week. We will look at Quran City as a whole, and then hopefully look at. Are you all right with that? 7:30. Yasmin, is that right? 7:30. Okay, can we end with the Surah Al-Fatiha? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. I'll send you pictures of the annotated book as well, and you can annotate it. And inshallah, we'll have the maps ready for you next week. Right?